Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. My name's Stephanie and today we are going to be talking about my polish pickup wish list for December. Polish pickup, or PPU for short, is this monthly pre-order marketplace that takes place on the first weekend of every month. There are a ton of indies that participate, usually to create a nail polish, but sometimes there are other like hand and nail care products like base coats, top coats, cuticle oils, scrubs, and just other miscellaneous products as well. Every month there's a new theme, and for the month of December, I feel like this is a pretty common one that happens like every year, but it's called Maker's Choice, and that's pretty much how it sounds. The indie brands have free reign to create whatever they want. So without further ado, let's just get into the website. Okay, so here is the website for polish pickup this month. The theme is Maker's Choice, and the pre-order window is from November 29th through December 2nd. So, of course, we are going to start with the nail polish, and starting with the first chunk, these first two rows, I am not really interested in anything here. Not to say again that, the polishes aren't pretty, they're just not really for me. I mean, the alchemy looks like the most up my alley, but that's kind of one of those base colors that I'm not super crazy about. And I think it maybe does remind me of one of the Cirque shades from the California Dreamin' collection. I don't remember if it's Bitchin' or something else, but kind of along those lines. So I feel like I can just move on already. And for this chunk, I am also not like super drawn to anything. I mean, we have some thermals here. I guess the camellia nails definitely looks the most interesting. I feel like it is kind of familiar to me, but I know it's not an exact dupe, but it reminds me of my first thermal that was from Cadillacquer. It was called Eerie, which was also a polish pickup shade from, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago at this point. And that one is kind of like a teal to black thermal. So I feel like, well, I guess this doesn't really go to black, it's just like a really dark teal shade. I thought at the very tips it was like darker than that, but it has like a similar like flaky and like against the teal. It's just what it reminded me of. So it is kind of cool, especially with the much lighter transition color, but I mean, I'm not really a fan of buying thermals, so I won't be getting that one. And yeah, the other ones I'm just not super in love with, so I can just keep scrolling. And okay, we have a lot of magnetics again. The danglefoot is, kind of interesting. The same with DRK nails, or I don't know if it's actually just pronounced dark nails. Like, they look really cool and shifty, but I don't know, just not enough for me to get. So yeah, I'm just gonna go to page 2 now, and I noticed there's only 3 pages, so I'm assuming not every brand has uploaded their polishes, but maybe there's just less participating this month. I'm not really sure. I don't think I'm going to be checking the website later in the week. I'm just going to, have my wish list and then add it to my cart and check out. So we unfortunately are just gonna be viewing whatever is on the website right now. So for page number 2, I again am not like super drawn to anything here. Like, no surprise, the one that I'm most drawn to, or that I would say is my favorite from this chunk, is the Glisten and Glow, called Sugar and Ice and Everything Nice, which is a cute name, but we all know I have this polish like 5 times over in my collection. I am a sucker for pinks with a golden shimmer. The 2 at the top of my head are Lurid's The Refuge of Your Presence, I think it's called, and ILNP's Opal Sunset. If anything, I imagine this Glisten and Glow is a little bit more opaque, or it just has like a slightly more buildable, crully kind of base, but the shimmer is still really strong, it seems. And yeah, it has that same kind of shift going to green in extreme angles. Definitely a beautiful shade. Like, I love it, but I already have it. I do think the Envy is pretty cool. Rise from the Ashes. Like, love the name. It's definitely giving, Phoenix vibes. I think with the kind of fiery color shift, it most reminds me of ILNP's Poison, but this obviously has this addition of like these metallic or multi-chrome kind of flakies. And I could, I could live without those. And if anything, I could always like add flakies on top of poison. I don't really do layering that often. Like I have a whole drawer full of toppers, but I rarely use them. So I could be better about that. The only time I layered a flaky over a magnetic was, I think, last year when I layered Solar Unicorn Skin over Holo Taco's Fairy Tale, and it was just fall as a nail polish. I really love that combination. But yeah, this looks nothing like that. I don't know, I got distracted. So the Garden Path does kind of look cool, but I feel like color-wise, it reminds me of Mooncat's Root of All Evil, I guess, right? Is like the most recent shade, but this is a slightly like different kind of finish. I think Mooncat's is a much more smoother shimmer, multi-chrome. This has a little bit more of that like speckly shimmer look, if that makes sense. Really beautiful. I probably would be tempted by this if I didn't already have that Mooncat. It just looks so cool, so sparkly, but yeah, I don't need to get it. So again, we can already move on. And okay, there's like, some more prettier shades. These are like lighter, like pastels that I think are more up my alley. The 3 or 4 that I think stand out to me the most are the Jen & Berries, the Kathleen & Co., the KB Shimmer, and the Linby designs. But obviously it's also because they're like reminding me of shades that I have, or at least like for most of them. And even for the Lemming and Lumen, I feel like those could also be dupes. So let's just start from the top left with the Jen & Berries. I was immediately reminded, oh, whoa, okay, hold on. Because seeing like the other snippets, like the photos, this is a lot more shifty and different than I was expecting. Just going off of the cover photo, I was like, oh, this is like a dupe for Cirque's Crying Contest, which is good news since that was a limited edition, super expensive collab shade from last year, but arguably one of the prettiest ones that they came out with. It's definitely one of my favorites. And I was like so excited to see that, this is a potential dupe for anyone who missed out on it. But seeing how shifty this is, it's definitely not a dupe, but definitely still beautiful, right? Don't get me wrong. But yeah, I was not expecting it to be this like vibrant and shifty. I thought it was going to be a lot more simple maybe in its finish. So yeah, unfortunately not as close of a dupe as I thought it was going to be. So then for Kathleen & Co., the Mummers Dance, this one kind of reminds me of, what is it called? ILNP's Power Surge, I think, from the Electric Summer collection, which, were magnetics, but just color-wise, I feel like these are pretty similar. It does look like Kathleen & Co. has more of those like flaky kind of particles. So, not an exact dupe by any means, but just like definitely a similar vibe at least. Maybe Kathleen & Co.'s is like a little bit limey-er, if that makes sense, like more of a yellow leaning green. But anyway, then for KB Shimmer's Not So Fast, I love that name, but this one, I guess I can't really think of like a solid dupe for this, or one that's kind of close. I just really like it. I think it's really pretty. I'm a fan of this like bluish lavender, I guess, blurple base color, the fiery shimmer, the flakies, super gorgeous polish. But I don't know, I'm not like super tempted to grab it, but it's probably my favorite, at least from this chunk here. And the other one that I was like kind of eyeing was the Linby Designs, The Power of Whimsy. It just looks like a really pretty, light purple with this bright shimmer. I guess the shimmer is on the more subtle side, right? Like it's not the other kind of shimmers that we see, but it's still pretty. I can definitely see this being so nice for spring, but in a way it also reminds me of Olive Ave's Lilac, which is my favorite periwinkle cream, and with Alchemy's Champ layered on top. I feel like this Linby doesn't have that like glowy shimmer, integrated in the base. It's just a lot more subtle, and I feel like layering a shimmer on top of a cream is kind of gonna give a similar look. So I guess we can go back, and with the other 2 shades I mentioned, Lemming is immediately reminding me of ILNP's Flicker. Oh wait, is this a thermal? Snowy Crelly base, shimmer, shifts from red to copper to gold. Okay, because the base, what color is this? Am I going crazy? Like, it looks blue here. Like, blue. I'm pretty sure these two photos are the same swatcher, but then in other photos, it's like, did I miss this? Hold on. Okay, I guess this swatch looks a little blue. I am so confused by this. I don't know if I'm going colorblind or not. It is crazy how different this looks because, you know, going off of like this photo, I was like, oh, that's ILNP's flicker. It's gray. But then this is not ILNP's flicker. So that's such an interesting shade. Okay, never mind. I don't know if I'm gonna cut this part out, but maybe I'll leave it in just because what is going on. But okay, so we can leave, and then I guess first let me tap into the Lumen shade just to see if there's any weird photos where it's like, oh, actually this is green. It doesn't look that way. Looks like this is purple. This one was immediately reminding me of Cirque's Venetian Sky, which was the Kelly Marissa collab shade, the purple one. Maybe it's a little different. I can't remember if Venetian Sky was a little bit more blue toned than this one, or more red toned, or maybe it's just darker. Definitely a pretty color combo, but one that we've kind of seen before. I think the thing that makes this one unique is having more of those like larger sort of hollow flakies, but I guess they're not super large. Like in some of the photos they just kind of look like, oh, like hollow flakes. So if you have a hollow flaky topper and a purple with a red shimmer, I feel like you could recreate this one, right? But yeah, that's pretty much it for this chunk. I mean, the Lucky 13 is cool. Are You Wicked? The green to black thermal. I love like the nod to it, the inspiration. Definitely nailed it, but I just don't really care for it. So yeah, I think we can move on. And for this chunk here, I can't say I'm super drawn to anything. No offense, like I feel like, I don't know, I'm sounding so disappointed, but it's okay. I mean, it's honestly a good thing that I am not tempted by everything. I guess maybe I'll check out the noodles because I love noodles. I just like to see what they make. Oh, and this looks like another holiday Barbie installment. Super cute, like I love the green, definitely very festive. I kind of wish it was a little bit less dense. I mean, I guess it works if you're going to be building it up, to like a full coverage kind of glitter mani, but whenever I see her glitter toppers used as a topper, at least, it always just looks super dense, and I somehow think there's too much glitter, which I know some people might think is crazy to say, but that's just my opinion, right? But definitely, cute, fun, festive, but don't care for it too much. So we can finally move on to page number 3. And okay, the painted polish, Pining for You. Really gorgeous. This looks like it could be the green version of the red shade that they made last month called Live Laugh Lava, which I picked up, and this one is definitely really stunning, but I already have like a dark green reflective from them that I think was called Lookin' Mighty Pine. So, even though it's like a totally different finish, I'm definitely happy with what I have because I also have just like a bunch of other dark greens. But this one is really gorgeous. I do love like the pops of the gold micro flakes. I feel like this could work for like a really dark St. Patrick's Day kind of mani, So love that, but not enough to get it. I guess the Paradox polish is like interesting, like the base color. I mean, the base color here in this photo to me looks like a really dark, like plummy purple, but maybe it's just black, inspired by Huckleberry base with a blurple cyan 3D magnetic stripe. Why do I feel like I read that in another language and I just don't understand it? But okay, oh my god, this is beautiful. This is really pretty. Okay, wait, am I actually being tempted by this though? Because like I love the color shifts in this. I know it says blurple to cyan. I don't really see the cyan. I mean, I kind of just see that as like almost like a smoky purple. It doesn't really read cyan to me, but I love the purple to pink. And yeah, this huckleberry base, I'm kind of a fan, honestly. So but I don't know, because I was gonna say I don't really wear magnetics often. I also was just talking about in my like what I'm buying for Black Friday video that I was gonna be picking up the magnetic from ILNP called High Roller that I think has like a somewhat similar color shift, but that has a black base and this one has a huckleberry base. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit more partial to the huckleberry base, but I don't know. I don't know. It also, in a way, no, not really. I was gonna say it reminds me of the sassy sauce called Wicked Sorcery, but that's so different. I feel like this definitely has like a much more purple kind of color to it, at least like in these 4 photos. This one is really beautiful. Probably the one I am most tempted by, but I'm gonna stay strong and not add it to my wish list. And you know, now that I think about it, I feel like it kind of reminds me of Cirque's Paradox. That one definitely has a stronger blue kind of shimmer and it also shifts to pink. I think Paradox has a more blue toned purple base though, so I really do like the reddish berry base in this Paradox. But yeah, I don't want to entertain it any longer. So okay, from this rest of the chunk here, the red-eyed lacquer, Die Mad You Salty Bitch. What is this? Inspired by Die Mad print from Man Made by JS. I feel like I don't understand what I'm reading. I can't tell if I've just been recording late. It's been a long day. I don't know. I don't know what I read. I'm sorry. I feel like that one Keke Palmer meme where it's like, I don't know who this man is. That's like me to the alphabet right now. So this polish is beautiful, but I'm not gonna lie. I would want to get this just for the name. It's so funny. I wish I kind of understood the reference, but I don't even need to. With a name like that, it is just too funny. But the polish is gorgeous. Like I love a good sparkly blue. But okay, yeah. So beautiful polish, hilarious name. I wish I had more room in my collection, honestly, but you know, we just got to keep it moving. I cannot I can't entertain it. Even though it is so funny. Okay, so the Psyche minerals, I'm immediately getting Mooncat Serpents of Eden, but this is like a more glittery version. Oh yeah, okay, there's like reflective glitter. Really gorgeous, you know, super, super beautiful. I have been loving on greens lately, but unfortunately, I don't need to pick this one up. But it does make me excited to think of putting a reflective glitter on top of Serpents of Eden. I wouldn't have thought to do that, but that is so gorgeous. So, okay, I guess we can just move on to this next chunk here. This Sassy Cats looks so familiar, and I'm just like, didn't they release this already? Like, I feel like earlier this year, they released a polish that looks just like this. I'm assuming this is a little bit more green, inspired by mint chocolate cupcakes, a green jelly base. I think the one they released earlier in the year was blue, and if I remember correctly, that one was kind of like a fan favorite, popular, you know, people were looking forward to it. So I guess it makes sense that she made like a green version, a sister polish. But I'm like, oh, that looks like the same as what they released, but you know, they're not gonna dupe themselves, right? The Sassy Sauce, you know, pretty. Always love a purple with a blue shimmer, but I don't need one. And yeah, I'm not really feeling anything else as far as nail polish, unfortunately. So you know what that means? We can just head to the hand and nail care section to look at KB Shimmer's Sugar Scrub, and their scent this month is Vanilla Birch. I'm a little nervous just because I feel like vanilla is one of those scents that could be hit or miss. Like there's some really yummy vanilla scents, but then there's others that are like that sickly sweet, you know, fake vanilla. I'm pretty sure KB Shimmer would use the nicer one, but I don't remember if I mentioned it in a video already, but the only sugar scrub that I kind of didn't love from KB Shimmer was the cereal one from like the cartoons theme earlier, I think in the summer or late spring. And my only guess is that it was vanilla, but I would have to go back to my video to see like the scent notes just to make sure. Maybe it was like, you know, the cereal scent or something, but I didn't love that, unfortunately. And I was like, ooh, yeah, I think it's vanilla and I don't love it. So I'm hoping, I'm hoping that that's not gonna be the same vanilla scent in this. Inspired by Winter Woods. Okay, this first paragraph is like a little she's painting the picture, which I appreciate, but I don't want to read right now. Okay, it's a smooth blend of sandalwood and birchwood, highlighted by sweet vanilla with hints of, is that a fruit? I'm like, I've never heard of this, and I'm just reading it as quince, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Okay, I looked it up, and I think it's quince. It's a fruit. Okay, pear, and a touch of mandarin zest for brightness. So, you know, a little citrusy with the vanilla. Okay, I'm gonna add this to my wish list. I am gonna take the chance that the vanilla is not gonna be overpowering. It's not like, you know, one of the stronger scents, and that I'll get more of like the sandalwood and the fruits especially. But I feel like this would be such a cozy scent for the winter. So yeah, I'm gonna add that. And if I remember correctly, I only have this one. Oh, why is that showing up? That's so weird. Okay, well, I only have the KB Shimmer Sugar Scrub for this month on my wish list. I still am kind of thinking about the Paradox one, but I will go back, you know, to look at Cirque's Paradox. Oh wow, I didn't even consider they have the same name, but I'm pretty sure, you know, it's like a close enough dupe, so it looks like I'm just gonna get the Sugar Scrub. So that wraps up my polish pickup wish list for December. As always, I can't wait to hear what you think of my wish list this month. Of course, let me know what's on your wish list this month, and let me know what you think of this month's, I guess not even themed since it's like maker's choice, but just what you think of this month's offerings, because I don't know, I kind of want to say I was like a little underwhelmed maybe, but I'm not really like complaining about it. I definitely see it as a silver lining since PPU is going to be the same weekend as like Black Friday. And granted, a lot of indie brands have already started their Black Friday sales, but it's already just like an expensive week. So I am pretty relieved that I'm not going to be grabbing that much or really anything this month other than the scrub, though I might be tempted to browse the website again later in the week just to see if there's like more listings put up, because I was just kind of surprised to see how little there was. But yeah, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. It is so crazy to think that this is the final wishlist video for 2024. I only just started this series this year. Unfortunately, I did miss doing a video in January, but I basically have done a video since then, and it's been so fun to see the different themes and what the makers are making. I feel like in general, I purchased way less from PPU this year than I did last year, but it still kind of evens out since I know last year there were a few months that I skipped entirely. So I hope you'll be looking forward to my annual video where I swatch my entire polish pickup haul for the year. I do usually post that in like the beginning of January, so it's still like a few weeks away, but I'm really looking forward to it. So make sure to let me know any and all thoughts that you have down below so we can chat about it. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.